Welcome to class.
Hello and welcome. In lesson 1, I'm going to go over how to download processing and get it set up to run on your computers. Then I'll go over just a few basic commands so that you can make some shapes appear. I'll go over the coordinate system for you so that you will be able to get those shapes to appear where you want them and understand how things move. Then I'll go over the order of commands, and you'll see that it's important what comes before or after what. And finally, you'll get your first assignment, which will be to make a picture of a house. All right, let's get started. Here's the website you'll want to visit to download processing. It's just processing.org. We'll just go to the download link there. You just go to whichever link is right for your operating system, whether you have Windows or Mac. I happen to have Windows. And then I click the download, and I save the file to my hard drive. Okay, so I have to get the file out of the zip folder. You can't run processing from inside of that zip folder. So I've opened it up, and now I'm copying it onto my desktop. This is an important step that people who haven't used zip folders before don't know about. And right now, what I want to do is I'm moving it into my programs folder in my C drive. I don't want to leave my processing folder just sitting on my desktop because I like to keep things tidy. So I'm moving mine into my programs folder. And then, now I'm going to make, I'm opening the file, and you'll see the IDE, the Integrated Development Environment. And I also want to make a shortcut to processing. I don't want to have to go back into my programs folder every time that I want to open the file, right? I want to just make a shortcut on my desktop, and there it is. Hooray! So I can just double click on that now, and that opens the program. I don't have to go to the programs folder. Okay, now this is where we're going to type in all of our sketches. And we want to go ahead, we'll save this sketch. We'll just call it something like first sketch or my first sketch. I apologize that it's off the camera there right now from the screen, but I'm just typing in, my first sketch, hitting save. And then it'll keep track of where the files go for me. And so when I open up my sketchbook, you'll actually see there's my first sketch. It keeps track of it for me. Please leave those alone. If you're in my class, we're just going to leave those alone. We're going to let processing manage those file locations for us. We don't want to change those. Okay. You'll see the little gray box. That's the canvas. That's where all of our sketches will show up. That's where we're going to make a lot of pictures and animations and things. They're all going to be in that canvas. But it's so small, we need a bigger canvas, right? We can move it around, but really we need a bigger canvas. So the first command that we're going to use is size. We just want to change the size of the canvas. And we're just going to draw a bigger canvas this time. You can go up to the size of your monitor, but I don't recommend it for now. Just do something like 500 by 500 pixels, right? Something manageable for your screen where you can still see where you're typing in the IDE and what's going to pop up on the canvas. All right, the first command we're going to use is the command size. You can see me here just experimenting with different pixel values for the size of the canvas. And these numbers are a number of pixels. It may look different on your screen depending on the size or the resolution of your monitor. And now I'm just going to make it so you see that the first number is the width and the second number is the height, and so I've just made it a little bit wider and not as tall. And also remember that you have to hit play, and anytime you make a change to your sketch, you hit play and it reruns it for you. And just as a heads up, if you ever see it locking up your computer or anything like that, you just hit that square, that's the stop button right next to it. Okay, now background, that's a handy command. You'll use it all the time. It changes the color of the background. And it can take anything from grayscale to full RGB values. And you see me right now just showing you that you can use 0 is black, 255 is maximum, so that's the maximum color for light in processing, and so that's white. And any one number you put in there is grayscale. But if you put 3 numbers, like you see me doing now, the first number is going to be red, the second number is green, and the third number is blue. And it'll mix those colors for you. But remember, all the colors, grayscale or any of those colors we're mixing, if you're entering in numbers, they go from 0 to 255. All right, you're going to have a lot of fun mixing these colors and getting things to look just the way you want them. One of the first basic shapes we'll go over is rectangle. The command is rect. And the first number you see me typing in there is 0, and the second is a 0. Those first 2 numbers are the x and y coordinates of the top left corner. Okay, so 0, 0, we just saw, is at the top left corner of the canvas. In computer graphics, the origin, or 0, 0, is the top left of your monitor. The third number in there is the width, and the fourth number is the height of your rectangle. So, okay, that's how it keeps track of that. The next command is ellipse, and ellipses don't have top left corners like rectangles, so that 150, 150, you see me typing in right now, that's going to be the center of the ellipse. It keeps track of the center. And then the width of my ellipse is 30 pixels, and the height of this ellipse is 30 pixels. If you put them in the same, number, you get circles. But you can put in different shapes, different ratios, and get different shaped ellipses to look different. The command no stroke that you see me typing in, that gets rid of the outline around the shapes if you want to. That can have a cool effect sometimes. Now, triangle is going to be a little more complicated than the first 2. When you're going to draw a triangle, you could do some geometry or something and keep track of the center and then do something to draw the shape around it. But probably the easiest way to draw a triangle is just to keep track of the 3 vertices. And so what you'll see is that I'm typing in 6 numbers, and those are going to be xy1, xy2, xy3, right? And so the first 2 numbers keep track of xy of one corner. The second 2 numbers keep track of xy of another corner, and the third 2 numbers keep track of xy of the third vertex. Now what you'll see me doing is I'm just experimenting with some of these values of the location of my ellipse. I'm going to make it look like an ice cream cone. I'm really determined here. And you see it's just a little off. Oh, but I'll get it. I know the future here. I made the video. And you'll spend a lot of time just experimenting with these values, getting things to look just the way you want them. That looks better, right? It looks like an ice cream cone, except it could be more colorful. It could be strawberry. And now I'm gonna just try to make the ice cream look a little more colorful. So I'm putting a fill in there to try and give it some red. But the cone turned red too, and I didn't want that. When you use fill to add color to your shapes, fill will fill in all the shapes underneath it until processing sees another command for fill. And so if I want that triangle at the bottom to have a different color, I need to give it a different color. If I typed in another shape under triangle, that shape would be the same color as that triangle. All right. Now, you'll notice that the triangle is cutting off the ellipse. That's because the triangle, you can think of it as being on top. The program drew the ellipse, and there was a nice round ellipse there at one point, but then it drew a triangle with a straight line going across. And since the triangle came after, that's what shows up on your computer screen. now I'm going to go over how to control the location of the different shapes that you want to use to make your pictures. You're used to seeing the Cartesian coordinate system with positive x going off to the right and positive y going up. Okay, so 0, 0 was traditionally located in the center. Computer graphics are going to be a little bit different. Plus y goes down. And 0, 0 is in the top left corner of your screen or your canvas. Plus x still goes off to the right. That's fine. Everything is normal there. What this means is that as you increase the value of y, you go down. And if I want to draw a rectangle, right, I know I need to keep track of it from its top left corner. I'm going to give it an x component and a y component. And that's how it's going to keep track of where that is. For your first assignment for this class, what I'd like for you to do is to make a picture of a house. Now, your picture should have the rectangle for the house, the ground, the sky, a triangle for the roof, and a yellow ellipse for the sun. What we'll do next time is we'll take the sun and we'll actually animate it so that it moves across the screen over time. And that'll be a fun project. If you'd like an extra challenge, you can think about how you would add some clouds and maybe how you would combine some ellipses to make some interesting shaped clouds. But I'm not going to tell you how to do that today. We'll talk about that next time. All right, I'll see you next time.